This is Tim Bryce with my column titled, Biden's First 100 Days. Well, here we go. Day one of President Joe Biden's 100 days. He made a lot of promises on the campaign trail in terms of what he would accomplish, but let's see what he will deliver. In going over his promises, I've been able to compile the following list in no particular order. First, the president will begin by pushing to get his cabinet nominees and other appointments confirmed by the Senate as soon as possible. However, since the Democrats slowed the approval process of Trump appointments to a crawl, look for the Republicans to return the favor. Next, President Biden said the first thing he will do is order the immediate reversal of all executive orders signed by President Trump. This includes the plethora of orders Trump made to eliminate government red tape over business. Translation: President Trump's actions were intended to free business from the bureaucratic restrictions government imposed over business, thereby helping to stimulate the economy and bring companies and jobs back to our shores. By reversing course, President Biden will create a larger government and stifle both businesses and the economy. Watch the GDP begin to struggle when this is imposed and stocks slip. Next, as part of his rescinding of President Trump's orders, President Biden will introduce an immigration bill to reverse Trump's quote-unquote cruel immigration policies, including discontinuation of building the southern border wall and allowing citizens from 7 Muslim countries on the terrorist list into the country. He will also reinstate the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, the DACA program, and introduce legislation providing a pathway to citizenship for 11 million illegal immigrants. Translation: President Biden is opening the floodgates of illegal immigrants into the country, thereby breeding another generation of Democrat voters. Unfortunately, this will also promote Sharia law in Islamic enclaves in the United States. Next, as another reversal of President Trump's orders, President Biden will rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement, something started by executive order by President Barack Obama, without the approval of the Senate. In addition, he will convene a climate summit with the largest economies in the world. Translation: This will cost billions, if not trillions, of American tax money, which will be diverted to countries with high pollution, including China. Next, another reversal will be made on President Trump's orders on energy. Federal climate policies will change as well as tight fuel efficiency standards introduced. Translation: So much for America's energy independence, thereby once again creating a dependency on foreign energy and military entanglements in far-off countries. Next, President Biden committed to administering more than 100 million COVID-19 shots early on. To do so, he will be requesting additional funding from the Congress to implement this effort, as well as funding for states and municipalities to get all American students back to school. Translation: Maybe he can finally get the support to implement the Trump vaccine that our former president couldn't. As to schools, we're only talking about those schools under Democrat authority. Everyone else has already returned to school. Other items to bear watching, but not specifically included in the first 100 days include: First, although Biden said on the campaign trail he would immediately cancel Trump's 2017 tax cuts, this may be postponed until later on, with the exception of increasing the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%. Translation: President Trump's dropping of the corporate tax was one of the key reasons for stimulating our economy and returning companies to our shores. By elevating the rate, President Biden hopes this will pay for a lot of his initiatives. The truth is, it will push companies away from our shores, but more importantly, the new taxes will be passed off to the consumer, thereby raising the cost of living. Next, in the near future, President Biden will be encouraged to cancel up to $50,000 in debt per college student taking out a loan. This is something being pressed by Senate Democrats, such as Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who said, quote, "We have come to the conclusion that President Biden can undo this debt, can forgive $50,000 of debt the first day he becomes president. You don't need Congress. All you need is the flick of a pen," end quote. Translation: Again, the burden falls to the American taxpayer, even for those who never experience higher education. Yes, your taxes will go up, regardless of your level of income. Next, President Biden recently said, quote, "Our priority will be Black, Latino, Asian, and Native American-owned small businesses, women-owned businesses, and finally having equal access to resources needed to reopen and rebuild," end quote. Translation, if you are white and male, forget it. You do not qualify. I guess there is no racism here, right? Next, President Biden has made it no secret of his disdain for the NRA, saying, quote, "As president, I pledge to continue to work together with Congresswoman Giffords and with survivors, families, and advocates across the country to defeat the NRA and end the epidemic of gun violence in America," end quote. Translation, an open attack on the Second Amendment is in the offing. Time to stock up. He obviously doesn't understand the NRA is not the cause of gun violence, as they are the largest gun safety group in the country. President Biden's problem is the Senate is still under the control of the Republicans, making it difficult to pass any legislation. Like his old boss, Barack Obama, he will instead rely on executive orders to get things done. His reversal of President Trump's orders will keep him occupied the first 100 days, but having legislation passed, that is another matter altogether. So we're back to gridlock in the nation's capital. In less than 2 years, the House is up for re-election. Do not be surprised if Republicans win it back, thereby further stifling Biden's actions. To me, all I see is our economy going nowhere, taxes increasing, and our freedoms threatened. I used to believe Obama was the worst president in my lifetime, closely followed by Carter. But now I am convinced Biden will eclipse the two of them, making them look like stars. Fasten your safety belt. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Friends, keep the faith. This is Tim Bryce in Palm Harbor, Florida. Follow me on the internet at timbryce.com.